I just signed up 6 months for the University of the Third Age, which is over in that building there. Rather strange looking place. Looks like it's in a suburban ghetto in America, with the graffiti in the front there and all the grates out the front. Looks like it's a high crime area. I don't think it is. Yeah, the woman on reception, she's just a volunteer, and they open the office depending on who they got volunteering. She's also from Melbourne, telling me she's got a son who's set up a farm in Bundaberg, who fancies himself as a farmer, but she has her doubts. So anyway, they've got the Spanish class. I can just pop in there next Monday at 9 o'clock, and it's super convenient. It's only one more bus stop down the road from where I live, so it's literally a 5-minute walk at the most. And I think a lot of the classes and what have you are held there. They've got 2 rooms there for classes inside, and there's an activities hall or something next to that, so see how it all goes. But yeah, it's only $30 a year to join up, and you pay $3 for each particular session, course, whatever it is. I'm not sure what that goes to, maybe coffee and biscuits or something, I'm not sure. Because everybody's volunteers, from what I can gather. And there's no government money thrown into it, which just find quite surprising these days, because it seems like every other organisation has their fingers in the pie when it comes to government funding, but this mob doesn't. And that they seem more worthy than many others that get money, so maybe they should change that. And they've been around since 1984 in Australia. Originally the concept started in France, and then the UK took it up and anglicised it, and there's 2 different types of University Third Age. One is an Anglo stream initiated from the UK, and the other one is the European stream, French, and other European countries have followed the French model, so there's a bit of a schism there in the way that each of those organisations is set up. Anyway, just waiting for my bus. Very important trip to get my grog supply before last time, maybe before I go off to Southeast Asia. Yeah, look at that, big trucks. Mulgrave Road, very busy. Very busy. Yeah, so they've actually made the litre container of Jameson's Irish whiskey more enticing now, that they've increased the price of the 700ml bottle from $36, I think, up to about almost $50. So, and the 1 litre bottle's about $55, so it's very competitive now. It's where it should be. Because when the 700ml bottle was only $36, you might as well buy the 700ml as opposed to the one litre. There was actually a penalty for buying a greater quantity, but now it's reversed to what you'd expect. So I'll get myself 1 bottle rather than 2, and hopefully some cheap port as well while I'm at it. I should go down and get a Guinness today down at the bar. But not a big fan of PJs these days, but I should squeeze in a couple of sessions before I head off OS again. Yeah, a lot of bike riders around here. There's a couple of people. What I don't like is you get bike riders that ride up behind you. They don't acknowledge, make a noise so you know they're coming, and they'll just skim straight past you. There'll be a few collisions caused because of that. And some of them ride pretty fast, and the last 2 occasions where I've had people do that really too close is actually both female riders, both riding far too close and far too fast. So they're going to get a protocol happening, I think. The considerate ones will ring a bell or make a sound, so at least you know they're coming up from behind. I'm not even sure it's legal to ride on the footpaths. It never used to be, but maybe that's changed. Really what it means is we should have dedicated bike lanes, really. In most cases, I think that's what they should have. Especially if they're going to ride fast along along footpaths, it's just not right. But anyway, survived it so far. But if you moved to the left or right suddenly, they'd ram into you. They wouldn't be able to correct for that. So yeah, it's pretty dangerous. That was a bit of a frustrating visit to Dan Murphy's. I went with the specific notion of buying the $55 bottle of Jameson's Irish whiskey, and guess what? None in stock. So I had to do a substitute, so I bought some New Zealand beer, Monteith's beer, which was actually on special, a member special, $12. So when I went to the checkout, I forgot to give her my card, and she didn't ask me for it. She said she normally does prompt for it. When I looked at the bill, it was bloody $17 something rather than $12 that you get as a discount for being a member. Now, luckily she wasn't a hard ass, and I had to put my card through again, and she had to scan the bloody the 6-pack again, and I got my discount. So, but there's a lot of hassles with shopping, you know, when things like this happen. It's 5%, this one. It's a lager, and we'll see what it's like. Hopefully it's tasty. Looks like it's a bus coming. Oh, are they waiting? Actually, I might be able to get this bus. There's a bus coming now, I think. So that's something anyway. So yeah, pretty wasted trip. I think the bus driver got the fares wrong. Either I paid $1.20, which is actually less than I paid last time. There's supposed to be a fare increase in the meantime. So that doesn't make much sense, but I'm not going to complain. So anyway, looks like I got the bus now. Perfect timing. Okay, first impressions of a new beer for me. It's Monteith's The Barber Lager, a New Zealand brew, and we'll just see what it does for my taste buds. It's a pretty warm day here in Cairns, so perfect weather for drinking an ale. Let's see what my taste buds say. I'd like to also add that it's 5% alcohol, which is, you know, quite reasonably strong, which is good. You know, I think it's decent value. So even though they're small bottles, I'll carry a bit of pack a bit of a punch. Yep, yeah, no, quite a reasonable drop. I've got no complaints at all. I prefer dark beer, but I've got to say that that this particular lager is quite decent. Seeing I picked it up on special for $12 a 6-pack, no complaints there either. So always good to try a new brew, and yeah, I'd give this one a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever, and either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.